So here I am again, sharing my thoughts with you. I wanted to talk about something interesting that had happened today. So I have this one person in my life that maybe you know this. It's like when you're not very engaged in a relationship, there's nothing going on. It's nothing wrong, nothing like, oh wow, what a good friendship or whatever relationship it is. And so in that dynamic, I was like, yeah, we're fine. And so I called that person, and we are regularly in contact, but not very often. And so I called, and then something happened throughout the conversation. Triggers or points in the conversation that would usually trigger me and put me into my mind. Something the person said, I was like, usually I would think now, like usually my thought would just go run and I would not really be engaged in the conversation anymore. And then this time I was like, keep listening. And suddenly my whole perception changed. My whole lens that I was wearing was gone, and I just saw the conversation and the person for what they are. I didn't judge it anymore, and that got me thinking throughout my whole life, that relationship. When I look back now with the lens that I have now on, or maybe the lens without the lens that I had on, when I look back now, I'm like, all these points in the past where I would have gone on that thinking train, I now can see it different, and I can see it with so much more understanding and compassion, because I've been like in similar situations, but I haven't been there before. So I was like, wow, that's amazing. Now the relationship seems so much easier to connect and so much better. At the same time, I'm like, oh my God, this whole time I've seen them throughout I had a different perception, like there was not such a connection as there is now. And I'm sharing this. I found that important because I feel like sometimes the dynamics in our relationships, they are such practiced vibrational patterns that we don't give the other person benefit of a doubt or a chance anymore, really, because like, a good example is like, for example, a real good friend. It can be positive as well, like a real good friend. Sometimes, when you had so much good times together, that when you go again and you just need to see him or her from the distance, and you already start to be cheeky, that energy comes up already, or you're just already starting to laugh and thinking about jokes you could make, right? It can also be very negative. It's like, for moms or dads are very good. Like, let's, for example, do you know when you go into the room and then there's this one person that just triggers you, and you're like, the moment you're not even entered yet, you just knowing that you see that person, and you'll be like, already on defense. It's like we're already practicing all the things from the past. We're just taking them all in and be like, ready to go. I've got them in my bag. So the invitation, the contemplation, what if we don't take all that from the history, from recent times, and we just meet the person right now, right here, without all the knowledge, without all the experience, just like, what are you actually saying? And I mean, there's nothing wrong. Like if you're having a good time and you feel cheeky when you see your best friend, you know, that's absolutely fine. But also it can go that way that you see them, you're already getting cheeky, but that person might come towards you with a heavy heart wanting to share something, and you're already in a cheeky mode, and that might be then the person might feel inappropriate to share because it's like, oh no, they're in such a good mood, I don't want to ruin it, you know. So I think it's really a great thing to play with. Like, I definitely want to start playing with that. How if I show up neutral? How if I just show up neutral and see what we co-create in that moment? What are we making together in that moment? Yeah, nice, interesting thing to play with. I invite you to do the same, and please share with me if you have any insights, good or bad, or neutral. Yeah, I would really love to know. Have a beautiful Sunday evening, or whenever you see that, have a beautiful rest of the week or start. Yeah, I wish you all the best.